military generals have declared war on Emerson Mnangagwa. And viewers and listeners, this analysis is in full. We are going to go step by step, point by point, paragraph by paragraph, on all the details that are listed in the article. And as you all know, as Zimai, our work here is to investigate every fact. This is what we have been known. This is what our news network has been doing for the past 12 years to date. And our viewers and listeners, if you're struggling with either the picture or the sound, please do let us know. We are about to start literally right now. And as we begin here, our viewers and listeners, once again, as we start here, this is an investigation into the Spotlight article that talks about military generals and, according to the website, allegedly declaring war on Emerson Mnangagwa. And right now, I just want to quickly check for feedback from our community of readers and contributors here watching into the stream. If you're struggling with either the picture or the sound, please do let us know. Just type in the comment box right there. If you would like to participate in this, please do let us know. All I need to do is to add you, bring you into the stream. So we'll be starting anytime shortly. Please do type in the comment box if you're struggling with either the picture or the sound. Stay tuned right now as we begin our viewers and listeners. And just checking feedback. There is no negative feedback. It looks like everything is okay. Good afternoon to you. Also, by the way, please let us know, those who are coming in right now, let us know which part of the world you are logging in from. Log in from Jimboipi, whether in Zimbabwe or outside of Zimbabwe. So now, we shall begin shortly. Stay tuned right now, our viewers, readers, and listeners. By the way, this article was done by Spotlight News, and it attracted quite a trove of comments here online, and we just need to go into it right now, line by line. Someone will say, answer line by line, precept upon precept. So, going into all that is declared in there, and what is even those that are beyond. So we'll go even beyond what the article talks about. This analysis should not last us. It should not last us. So yes, obvious listeners, I hope people can hear me right now. We are about to start. I apologize. We had a cut there. Many times when we do these programs, there are problems that can happen here and there. But this analysis should not last more than 10 minutes. Try to even keep it as short as 6 minutes, because the details that are in it here are quite well laid out, that we shouldn't take too long. We had a lot of people commenting on this article, this Spotlight article. It was actually published yesterday. I got to discover it was it's not even a Saturday article. It was done on Friday by Spotlight News. And the comments that started coming in on Zimai were today on Saturday. And a host of other websites had published this, and we hadn't published it. But you see, when it came through our desk, when it was published, then we decided we do need to do a structured review of the article. So now here we are. We're starting right now. Obviously, just stay tuned. Here we are, and please do let me know if you're struggling with the air. Yeah, you can see here. I think some people are saying that they are struggling. We shouldn't be long on this. Stay tuned. Okay, here we are. So the article by Spotlight. I'm just going to bring it up onto the screen here, and we can start straight away on it. Our viewers, listeners, this article was published by the Spotlight website, and the article alleges. The pointers are going to be flashing on the screen right now shortly. The article alleges that is a declaration of war by military generals against Emerson Mnangagwa, and somewhat based on the statement by George Charamba, Emerson Mnangagwa's spokesman, and that statement is on Twitter. And Charamba said, and when he was attacking the Chinese ambassador. I hope many people remember this one. I wish if I could bring the Twitter screenshot so that we can look at it ourselves here, and then we can flow with it. Now the article then goes, just reading it straight away here. Here we are. I'd missed it. I literally missed it on my screen. I apologize. Right. Okay. Here we are. So the article says, just reading it from the beginning here, Vice President retired General Constantino Chiwenga's military generals were key in executing the November 2017 coup against President Robert Mugabe have allegedly declared war against Emerson Mnangagwa. So the first claim here, so claim number one says allegedly declared war. Now when you start from there, automatically you see here already there is an inference rather than a declaration of fact. Okay, this is just an inference that has just been thrown here, an allegation rather than a statement of fact. Let's move in. So that is claim one there, and it says, I've declared war on President Emerson Mnangagwa and are said to be a step closer in launching another military operation to relieve Mnangagwa of his duties, Spotlight Zimbabwe has been told. So there you are. You've got another distancing here, another point that comes in. And I'm hoping that our pointers here on the screen are assisting us. So number two here, hearing rather than actual declaration of fact. Yes, Spotlight has been told. Tango's wow. Zvanzi. Wambo wow ere zvataurwa kumvuma ukoko. Kana kugweru. It's like Zambonzi. So, there, a lot of people start to question now. We go to the next paragraph. The reports come hard on the heels of news last week that the Chinese government and leadership have reportedly told, there you are, that it's time to vacate office is up. There's another again. Kurasira kanyoka. We call it in Shona, kurasira na kanyoka, right? Reportedly. Yeah. This is how it sounds. I apologize, I'm speaking in Shona, but I'm trying to mix here English and Shona so that we get to see here. And then it goes and says, and he should either retire or resign or risk facing unspecified political action from Beijing, despite continuing to wear a brave face in public and making a symbolic cabinet reshuffle. Okay, so what's the reshuffle got to do with this? Some of the top generals, it says in public, okay, who include Foreign Affairs Minister SB Moyo, who according to speculative media reports has been suddenly taken ill for treatment in South Africa this week, and Lands and Agriculture Minister, retired Air Chief Marshal Perence Shiri, are said to be at odds with Mnangagwa's leadership and appalling statecraft, which has seen the economic situation deteriorating to stratospheric levels. Sorry, So anyway, here we are. We've got another word there, speculative media reports. Okay, I guess this is all to do with this bit here is to do with SB Moyo's illness. But then comes to another thing here, another pointer. Are said to be now at odds. Man, Murwanza, I said, Huti, Vambo, a Bedbridge. Vambo, a terror, Kumtora Shanga, to come talk of, Zanzi,
zviri kutohi nokuda kwokuti vamugabe pavakafa paipai vakataura naMnangagwa. Then karoyi zvazonzi, come on, you know, zvazonzi yacho nanenge azowanda, you know. Right. There are also growing fears around Minister Moyo's family circles, that he might have been poisoned, just like VP Chiwenga, okay, who has survived his alleged poisoning through the skin of his teeth after undergoing special medical operations at a military hospital in China. Okay, so now here we are. Growing fears. I want to catch the meat of the article here. Nyama. Mozanonzi nyama ye story right? Defense Ministry sources. Okay, by the way, we've got that. That's George Charamba saying it's. Okay. George Charamba was really, you know, but you see that extraction that we're looking at here on the screen is George Charamba's exact statement. You don't see it in the article so far. Okay, we're almost through to the end, you know, but that is something that I could call at least some meat. But I said to Taiwan. So let's go down here. Let's go down now. Defense Ministry sources said another quartet of generals forced to retire and take up ambassadorial postings by Mnangagwa early this year are understood to have declared war against Mnangagwa, right, and want him removed following alleged damning intelligence that his political faction in government and ZANU-PF could be responsible for the spate of poisoning affecting influential military leaders. Now the generals are mentioned here. They are mentioned one by one. The 4 retired generals include Lieutenant General Martin Shedondo, Douglas Nyikayaramba, Anselm Nisanyatwe, Air Marshal, okay, Air Marshal Sheba Shumba Yawonda, okay. Mnangagwa removed them from their posts in February and promoted the quartet to diplomatic service, while Chiwenga was absent in India for treatment, resulting in suspicion that Mnangagwa was taking advantage of Chiwenga's absence to coup-proof himself by purging the VP's close allies in the armed forces, all who were pivotal during Mugabe's ouster. Now, what I'm struggling with here, let's just go to the next bit. I was just saying here, you've named all these generals, but what have you said that we could say is in tandem or is in sync with the topic yatinayo panapa? Topic yatinayo nde iyo irikumsorosoro iyo yekuti military generals have declared war on Mnangagwa and yeah. And it's now Chiwenga now who is on the spotlight. This is spotlight, the spotlight's claims here. These are the spotlight's claims. We're almost through. We're almost through here. Let's go ahead now. Now the next bit here. The authors, there are 2 of them, by the way. I see one munanyora story. It too. You know, they must give us some meat. So now they start to give us something that we could call meat. We could perhaps call meat here. There is damning evidence, military intelligence document with information that Mnangagwa's backers, right, and faction in government and the ruling party could be responsible. Now Kashiri then says VP Chiwenga's advisor, former Ethiopian ruler Mengistu Haile Mariam, who also had an advisory hand in Operation Restore Legacy 2 years ago, after getting worried about Chiwenga's health, advised the military to conduct investigations into the VP's poisoning. Yet it appears that almost all the generals involved in Mugabe's coup have been exposed to poisoning of some sort, including Minister Moyo, although the official line is that he is suffering from a kidney ailment. So, open quote, so it's basically an all-out war and we are nudging towards another putsch. Those generals are angry and the operation itself now depends on Chiwenga giving the green light, close quote. Mnangagwa himself suffered ice cream poisoning in Gwanda in 2017 and was ironically rushed to South Africa for treatment via air through Manyame Air Base upon instructions from an alert Chiwenga who was still Zimbabwe Defense Forces commander at the time. Oh, come on. Come on. ED was never poisoned. Let's be frank here. Right. And I've also notified them. I told them, look, Mnangagwa was never poisoned. Can you show me here? Show me any evidence of poisoning. Now, the removing of my generals very for however. This, as far as I'm concerned, and I challenge anyone out there to show me if it has got anything to do with Chiwenga. I'll tell you it has got everything to do with the Motlanthe maneuvers. ED needed to demonstrate to the international community that he's done something about the killing of people on the 1st of August, period. That had nothing to do with Chiwenga, right? Show me any evidence. I am here, and I can show you here. This is my belief. The only person who I know, and I'm wondering why these two authors, were two whole authors who wrote this article, right, failed to mention a key person who we clearly know was demoted. Not Anasanyatu. Anasanyatu were promoted. Sanyatu was promoted. He is now an ambassador. The only person who we know here was demoted is Brigadier General Engelbert Rugeje. Anyone dispute this? By the way, our viewers and listeners, this is an engagement here. Need to hear you there. The only person who was demoted by ED is Rugeje. This man here, this is one of the most feared generals and masterminds of the November coup. Otherwise, talking about Sanyatwe is enjoying himself. Ato ambassador, Achijgaru Tanzania. Here you are. You've got a real demotion here of Rugeje. How do you, as an analyst, write a whole lengthy article and you don't mention the demotion ya Rugeje? I'm wondering there. Because this one is a clear one, which we know has angered the Chiwenga faction, not the others. But I had to mention that, our viewers and listeners. Let us move in here. Hopefully we can get through any time now. Okay. Now, as I said before, ED was never poisoned. Mnangagwa was never poisoned. Akapoisonwa niko kupi nei be poisoned. Because even the 2014 one was not poisoned at all. And then the article ends quoting a British newspaper. What's so special about the new British newspaper? And all the British newspaper is talking about are fears of poisoning. Come on. Iwewe imemuruma Zimbabweans batadza kunyora zvinhu zvenyu mega makuota vanhu vari kumhiri kwemakungogo. So, viewers, witnesses, this is the analysis here. The only thing that I could say here is news meat. I call it news meat. Is the statement by George Charamba in which he said, it's okay? And I'm wondering, you don't even see that in the article. Come on. Spotlight, you need to do a better job here. The Itsitsidze, you needed to bring that in. If you wanted people to believe this story, you needed to bring the Itsitsidze comment, because that was George Charamba literally blasting the Chinese government for showing sympathy on Chiwenga. You can write a million articles about this. This is crucial if you want people to believe you. The next thing, which you should never have forgotten here, is the demotion of Rugeje. The next thing you should not even omit when you're talking about generals being angered by Mnangagwa here is the Anzi, what's the story here? We were just analyzing the Spotlight article. Yeah. The The poisoning, not of ED, the poisoning of Chiwenga. That's crucial. There are a million articles you can talk about that. But guess what? You also need to bring in the aspect of a Chiwenga closeness or affinity, friendship that they have, that they've had and that they've enjoyed. By the way, there are clear insider reports that when Mugabe was cooled, when Mugabe was removed in November 2017, and Chiwenga had moved the soldiers into Harare, the tankers, Mugabe tried to negotiate with Chiwenga, asking if Chiwenga could be the one who would take over, not Mnangagwa, because Mugabe trusted Constantino Chiwenga than Mnangagwa, and he wanted Chiwenga to be the president, and then ED would be outside. His wife Grace would be a deputy, and Bonyongwe. That's why you see after when Mnangagwa took over, eventually Bonyongwe was kicked away, was kicked out, because Bonyongwe was a favorite ya Mugabe. So Mugabe wanted Chiwenga to be president, and then Grace to be deputy, and also Bonyongwe to be second deputy. So these are look, I'm just saying here, these are things that you could have brought in here. You could have also brought in the issue of the incident that happened when Chiwenga flew back into Harare that very night there. There are a million articles that you can talk about there beyond the Itsitsi day. How it is that when the flight was getting into Harare, no one knew about it. They only got to know about it 2 hours in the last 2 hours that the flight was flying. How did they know? How did they not know? Why is it that there was no government official to welcome Chiwenga? Those are things you could talk about, but you'll still be talking about inferences rather than facts. My inferences are my facts. This is what I can say of yours, listeners. Let me just read people's comments here. Destiny Lee says ED was never poisoned. That was fake. Absolutely. Even in 2014, he was never poisoned. What powder zvayo. Itori less, more poisonous than that powder. By the way, this is the investigation that was done by Kembo Mahade. And we've got Ryan there, Ryan coming in and commenting. And he says they cannot state anything as fact because it's a huge story. They will be arrested with immediate effect. It may not or may not be, it may be true, but the fact is it's an outcry from the source. There's an element of truth, if no truth in the matter. Thank you. Koni says, watching. Eustace Kayemba says, well, Rugeje did in the end advise General Chiwenga to go and apologize to the people's icon, R.J. Mugabe. We hear that was his downfall. However, having said that, we all know this was never ED's decision alone, leaving us all to understand that the theory that indeed ED is so surrounded and being advised by wrong people. I don't think ED is the problem now in Zimbabwe. The Chinese declaring war on Mnangagwa, that's not correct, and never shall we allow that. And then otherwise, I'm going back to ZANU-PF. That's Eustace Kayemba saying that. Right, Ryan says he's always had accidents meant to try to make him famous. Oh, you mean Mnangagwa? Anozipoison on, anozipoison, anozikandira upfu, anozizira palenta Mnangagwa. Oh, but I thought, no poison, how poison ne cyanide, marone, the cyanide rewaitiro. Upfu. Even pamlenge mababa ebeka, osara achibika zvake, otora upfu ya, otopika sadza now. Mchivaro mchinzanza munayana poison. That's ED for you. Anyway, obvious witnesses. Right. One last thing that I want to throw here is that the spotlight authors, they should have also talked about the aspect of Chiwenga being clearly a favorite of the Chinese. That's important. Bring it out. Also bring it out that the Chinese are not happy with Mnangagwa. How Mnangagwa is dilly-dallying, how he is romanticizing the West. And also bring how the Chinese will rather, in this case here, opt for someone else who is not Mnangagwa. Why? Because they feel he's let them down. One of the things is also how they are so fond of the memories of Robert Mugabe, how Mugabe was their face. Mugabe was the face of the Chinese, by the way. They needed Mugabe because Mugabe used to upset the West. Every time at conferences like the United Nations, Mugabe would speak on behalf of the Chinese. So whenever he opens his mouth, what he was saying here, the Chinese would benefit a lot, because he used to literally harass, as it were, the West. And so now with Mnangagwa, who is so weak, you know what he says, it doesn't motivate, and his strategies as well. How Mnangagwa is also behind the upsetting of Chinese businesses. And now look at, for instance, the recent clash between the Chinese embassy and the government over figures. Yeah, Manam Tuli trying to steal money that had been donated to them by the Chinese government. Oh, that, it shows a loss of credits that Mnangagwa has with the Chinese. Those are things that could easily be news meat. And it would be important, I think, in their next articles. It's just an advisory that the Spotlight website, if they could look at these things, bring them out. These are things that people could say, I want to look up a Makurova news, you're now getting closer to the truth. That's what I think. Anyway, oh yeah, by the way, the Ryan says, what's the issue on Parents Shiri in that article? What's Shiri's role? None. I can't see any role. He's just mentioned in passing, So far, what I could say here, the article seems to pass the DNA of a comment rather than an analysis article. A comment so far. Like someone could just comment. We all comment many times here. We could say, oh, the Russians did this. Oh, the Americans did this and that. So these are facts, by the way, things that we should all look at, our viewers and listeners. And we shall be cutting right now. It's a very, very, very good afternoon to you. And thank you for joining us this afternoon in this very, very short analysis that we had to do on this Spotlight article that people have been talking about for a while. And there's a lot of excitement about it. Why? Because you see, when we talk about, mangwana zvichaitika nezvekuti idhi achabviswa, this and that. It all sounds animated and animating, both animated and animating. So it excites, it trickles us. But you see, we news readers, we need news. So that news atisi kuda kuti kuudzwa zvinhu zvokushurukidzira panapa. Kuti mutudze kuti zvii zviripo zvatingati izvo right now ndo zvinhu zviri kuitika, kwete kutiudza mafungiro enyu imimi, kufungawo kwenyu kwamunenge muchida nezvinhu zvamunenge muchida. Our viewers, businesses, good afternoon to you. Do jump on zimai.com. Ryan says, Anzi, please look deeper into it. We trust you more. Thank you very much, Ryan. Much appreciated. And good afternoon to you, our viewers, businesses.